Well, one thing I do have to speak on in terms of the name. I'm 44 years old now. I was 12 when the 52 was prevalent out here on these streets. And y'all even got me saying it now because you keep saying that. There was no 52. There was only Jailhouse. Only Jailhouse. And I had my boy, one of my closest friends, Kev. Now, he was the first one to ever say anything to me about 52. And it was a particular style of Jailhouse. All right? And basically, the 52 was just the way they moved, and these people banged bodies. All right? I'll demonstrate that one a little later on. I mean, literally, these dudes would beat you from your foot all the way up to your head, building from the bottom up, literally building. All right? But deeper than that, Jailhouse was associated with the 5%ers, period. The 5%ers are the ones who knew that. There were a lot of brothers out here who tried. There were a lot of pretenders at that time, but very few really knew. Jailhouse. Only those brothers that were doing a revolving door in and out of jail, hitting up on Rikers Island, so forth and so forth. That was it, but it was purely a street thing, purely. There is no connection between the 52's, Jailhouse, and Africa. I mean, come on, people, think. The style of fighting is so unique, and it was unique, and the brothers that could do it were bad as hell. But there's nobody that is around today that can actually do this fighting style anymore because it's not prevalent anymore. You're either going to find lifers that are doing life, brothers that are no longer even thinking about it, or they're dead. That's it. And these brothers that I'm talking about, all of them are close. I'm 44. So we're talking about dudes who are definitely on their way to their 60s, who knew true Jailhouse and who could do Jailhouse. For those who did it back in the 70s, it was par excellence. But these were individuals who had, much like in Bagua, it was said that Don Chan only took individuals who could already fight, already knew something before he would even teach them Bagua, because it was a principle. And the same thing, I feel, applied to the 52. Because generally it was boxing. You also got to keep in mind too, at that time during the 70s, the streets of New York was being really quite innovative. Breakdancing was being created. The whole DJ thing, rap was just coming out. And Jailhouse was a part of that. And it's the only one that didn't survive out of all those innovations that were being created at that time. The moves, everything, they were incorporated. They were a combination of, and it wasn't really even Kung Fu movies. I would take it more from Capoeira, because of the Jenga type thing, but which we incorporated into B-boys. That's what we were called. All right? Breakdancing, no, the B-boys at that time. All right? 1976. Generally, yeah, I mean, that's it. But as a system, there was no system. The only way to learn Jailhouse was by fighting. You had to fight. There wasn't no, let's just sit up here, okay, you sit up here, now do this. Keep doing this. Now I want you to sit up here and hit the fist. Hit the fist. All right, just hit the fist. You know, use the elbow to break the fist. Sit up here and catch an individual and go through. All right, and just go through. There was no system. You did it. You learned it by experience. There was no system of learning how to fight. You learned to fight by fighting. You either learn. Example, I believe that fighters are born. You can't make a fighter. Either it's in you or it's not. You can either fight or your ass is kicked. Period. And that's in your heart. Period. Nobody can teach you how to fight. I can teach. I mean, it's the old lead a horse to water routine. You know what I mean? The 5%ers were an offshoot of the Nation of Islam, created by a dude by the name of Clarence X the 13th. All right? Talking about 68, 69 in terms of the years. All right? He was kicked out of the Nation of Islam for being a rebel rouser, accordingly. All right, but nonetheless, a lot of the 5%ers, they became 5%ers. They all rallied around him. Right, base was through Harlem. In fact, that's where he died. He died on 135th, 138th, in Lenox or Lexington. Shot up. All right, but it all had to do with, we all know about the Nation of Islam, the fruit of Islam, and so forth. So, yeah, I mean, these dudes fought, and the problem with that is a lot of the 5%ers were going to jail. They were in and out of jail for whatever reason, right? Whether they were actually breaking the law or standing up for what they felt were their civil rights at the time. Didn't matter, but they came out, and as early as 73, 74, at least in the Bronx, Jailhouse was affiliated with the 5%ers. Period. There were other dudes out there that was sitting up here messing around like they knew Jailhouse, but I had never seen anybody that could really use it except the brothers that just came off the rock. Seriously. First of all, there was no 52. It was Jailhouse. What do they have in common? Jail. Jail. That's what they have in common. The 5%ers went to jail. Jailhouse was created on Rikers Island. Period. That's their common denominator, Rikers Island. We all know that Rikers is a 2-year thing. If you're going to do any more, you're going to go to Elmira or one of the others upstate. All right? You're going to go to one of them. All right? And again, when it comes down to it, as it stands now, the only individuals alive, they're either nowhere near this type of thing, or they're doing life, or they're dead. Anybody sitting up here talking about this is passed down to me by, passed down to you from who? I want to know who knows Jailhouse. The hell with that. There's no damn 52. There was only Jailhouse. The 52 was some subdivision of Jailhouse. As my brother Sifu Ruddy pointed out, from borough to borough, each place had their own particular style of executing the 52. Now in the Bronx, these guys, it was mainly about the elbows. The elbows had fair play. This game that you see going on with this, when you see all of that, this brother sitting up here doing all of this and so forth, and for those that even remember, other than that, what I'm doing, these moves are alien to you. It's an African American, I don't even believe in that damn word. Look, it's a black style that was created on the streets of New York. Nowhere else. It comes from New York. And in particular, the prison system. New York's penal system. That's what it came out of. Yes, we know about the Comstock Shuffle. There are a variety of what they call styles that evolved in the prison system. But Jailhouse is unique to New York. And a time period. That time period was during the 70s. And by the time the 80s hit in, few people were still doing it. Yo, the baddest of these dudes, they are dead or in jail. Or they gave up that life and decided to do something with their lives. Right? The baddest dude I ever knew was a dude by the name of Tweety Love. They had to shoot him. He was unstoppable. He reminded me of Bagua people in the sense of he was taking on multiple opponents and putting everybody's ass to bed. And it was Jailhouse. Pure and simple. But, again, that's a time gone by. The style you could say basically is extinct. We don't live that life anymore. Hell, most individuals today can't fight. Brothers I grew up with, everybody could fight. Now you can barely find somebody who can actually fight. I'm talking about a dude who didn't do nothing more than lift a quart of Old English to his lips. And he could kick your ass without blinking. It ain't like that no more. It's a whole new day.
Hold it now.